I have a confession to make. On YouTube, there's an unwritten rule that you should never break, which is stealing someone else's video. And that rule is one that I broke. I stole their entire script word for word. I wouldn't even went as low as stealing their dog in their video. I don't even have a dog. But to be totally honest, this went deeper than just a stolen video. Because what if I told you that this whole thing was actually a huge experiment that I ran with my friend Jay to prove that making higher quality videos on YouTube isn't what's actually holding you back. And I'll reveal the 3 biggest things that actually make a difference when it comes to getting more views on YouTube. But this experiment goes even deeper, because what I didn't tell Jay was that I secretly ran another experiment on a 3rd channel. And that's where things got really interesting. Okay, so let me give you a little background on what happened first. I was on a call with my buddy Jay and we were like, hey, wouldn't it be sweet if we could make a video together? So after a little bit of brainstorming, we thought, well, what if we did a test to see how videos would perform on our 2 different channels? Jay wrote the script because honestly, that's what he does best. And we both filmed our videos word for word. Literally the only thing that I changed slightly was the call to action at the very end. I edited both the videos because that's kind of what I do best. But in the end, we were left with basically the exact same edit for each video. I used AI to rip off the thumbnail design that Jay made for his video, but with my face. And we used the same tags, rough description, hashtags, chapter, all that sort of good stuff, and then publish them to our subscribers at the exact same time. All right, now before we get to those results, I want to explore what I think are the few variables that contribute the most to a YouTube video's success. And the first was the most obvious one, was Jay's channel had a huge leg up. Not that he had more subscribers than my channel. He was sitting at about 1,000 more than mine at the current state, but that the algorithm understood his audience and who to send the video to. The main way I've heard of how the algorithm works from interviews and people who work at YouTube is to think less about the algorithm pushing your video out to people, but to think about it as having a specific profile on every single user on the platform. And each of these profiles is constantly updating, shifting based on the video that people just watched compared to the next video that that person watches. That's the same reason why if you mainly watch business content and then for some reason you watch a gardening video, all of a sudden you see a few recommendations for another gardening video. And then say you watch that one and another one pops up that seems kind of interesting. And before you know it, 90% of the content on your browse page is about gardening. The algorithm is more like a curation engine that is trying to guess and sometimes test what videos it most likely thinks that you want to watch based on your recent watch history. So since Jay only makes videos about YouTube growth, then the algorithm is going to show his video to people who are interested in that exact topic, compared to my other channel, which makes videos on a variety of topics. And that didn't do it any favors, let's be honest.
So I know people probably ask you this all the time, but if you wouldn't mind subscribing to this channel, it would super amazingly help out such a tiny channel like mine. It'd be doing me a huge solid. I know you get this a lot, so I totally get it, but it'd be amazing if you did that. All right, back to the video.
That's where the next variable comes into play, and that's the seed audience. If you don't uncheck the publish to subscriptions feed box in your description before the video goes live, then your video will get sent to a small batch of your subscribers first. This is the seed audience. And depending on how this seed audience reacts to your video, that can determine the entire trajectory of how well your video is going to do. And for people outside your normal audience that see this video, it doesn't have the best data on who to send it to. So that's why you might look at what other content is suggesting your video and think, how could YouTube even think that people that are watching this want to watch my video? Usually there's just a huge mismatch in the related content that's suggesting your video. And the next biggest contributor to a tanking video that we run into is how the audience reacts to this video. That is, if barely anyone clicks on it, they click then leave after only watching 10 seconds, or they give it a thumbs down because they just like to watch the world burn. There is a lot of data that goes into YouTube's recommendation engine, and it has so much video content to recommend to people, it's not going to waste its time on a video that it's already made its mind up on. So after it runs the majority of its tests in the first 48 hours, you could be looking at the big impression flatline. That's why this early feedback from your audience is a huge factor in how well your video does. Obviously, the results from Jay's channel to mine shouldn't be too surprising. 2.2 thousand views compared to a measly 107, with a click-through rate and an average duration that pales in comparisons to Jay's. But how did this same video do on a brand new channel with 0 subscribers? Well, it basically doubled every statistic. Now, I know this might not seem like the greatest result, but there is a huge difference compared to an already established channel with nearly 2,000 subscribers compared to a brand new channel. I mean, think about it. This was literally the first video that I published on this channel, and it doubled the amount of views that a 2,000 subscriber channel got. That just shows you the power of what can happen when YouTube understands your audience. The most important thing to know is that if you want to treat YouTube like a business, then creating a focused channel that has a very specific audience is the easiest way to succeed. If you like this video, then maybe you want to check out the full story behind this on my friend Jay's channel. And that video is right here. So moral of the story, kids, don't steal other people's videos unless they're in on it.